All right, folks, this is the last of the 4 tutorials from the main screen whenever you bring up Unity 2018.4. So this one is going to cover prefabs and how we can use prefabs to accomplish our game goals. Right? So let's check this out. This is the problem we need to solve. So I'm going to hit play, and when I move to the green triangle, let's see what happens. All right, well, here we go. We've moved to this area, and things happen over here, but we're kind of stuck. If I try and go over to here, there's just nothing I can do to get up here. So I'm going to hit pause here, and we're going to continue with the tutorial. So down on the project window, this allows us to see all of the assets that are part of our game. This can include objects, scripts, graphics, audio, video, all sorts of items in here. And there's all sorts of wonderful things you can bring into Unity. But prefab is a template game object that we can make copies of. Prefab is a type of asset, so we can find prefabs in the project window. Basically, it's a template, right? It's a if I wanted to make a sculpture of some sort, and I have a mold. It's basically a mold for a thing. So there's a prefab. This is a ramp, and I've got a ramp prefab. I bring that in, and I click next. And whenever I bring in a prefab, I'm creating an instance of the prefab, right? So it's a specific instance of the object. So we can have an object like a ramp that has characteristics that are endemic to that ramp, and then each instance can be a little bit different, right? So once I have an instance, so what I want to do is I want to drag the ramp prefab from the project window, and I want to drag it just over into here, and you'll see a little shortcut arrow and then a ramp game object. Pop that in there, and there you go. Now we have an instance of the ramp prefab. We click next, and the instance very kindly went right into the exact position where it's supposed to go. Thank you, tutorial. So we click play, and once we do that, we have our arrows, and I open the door, and I've got, I guess, 10 seconds to get up the ramp. I hit the box. It pushes. Oh, but we don't have a box here. Oh no, I'm never gonna get across, and oh, I die. Okay. Have lots of fun dying, because that's what a lot of game testing ends up being. So we have this pushable box prefab that's also there, and this should be lickety split, same as before. You just drag that up into place. You click next. And then what we need to do is we need to change the value of this. But instead of dragging and dropping it, we want it to be very precise. So we can use a transform component, and the transform component allows us to change where the game object is in the scene, how it is rotated, and how it is scaled, or essentially the position, the rotation, and the scale. Those are the three main properties that we can use in the transform window. Now, in order to be precise about this, we can enter in the values directly. The measurements in Unity are essentially 1 meter, measurements, and so a 1 is approximately 1 meter in terms of scale, etc. And if I have that wrong, I'll correct myself later, but we should be okay. So in the X position, I'm going to make this a -2. Hit tab, I make this a 2.5, and all the while you should see your box moving. So my X and Y, I just moved that up a little bit, I moved it across a little bit, and then my Z position is going to be to 10, and that moves it all the way up into place. And you see those things happening pretty quickly. You can always change these back. If I go to 0, 0, 0, you will see how those zero out. What I can do then is do -2. So watch what happens when I go -2, right? I go -2, which means moving to the left in relation to the 0 point on this particular plane, or on this particular grid. The Y position is 2.5, and so you notice that moved it up. That moved it actually vertically up, right? And then the Z position is going to be your position in 3D space, so pushing out around you. All right, so and that's going to be a position of 10. So that's positive 10 that moves all the way up into that space, right? I click next, and now my box is in the right place. I click next, and I hit play, and lo and behold, good things happen. I move my object to the arrow, the door opens, I run quickly, I only have 10 seconds, I hit the box, it moves the box, it makes it over, it blocks the laser, and am I going to get through in time? Who knows? Let's see. Well, the doors just seem to stay open, and there we go. I'm in. All right. And I'll hit pause, and that's the end of that one. So in this tutorial, as shown, a prefab is a type of asset that is like a template for a game object, and we can add multiple of these. So if I wanted 10 ramps in this scene, I could have different instances of those ramps. And then we use the project window to see the assets in our project, and we added an instance of a prefab in our screen. So this at least gives you an overview of the possibilities with the development environment. It is not terribly flashy by any stretch of the imagination, but it can lead to really great outcomes. And there are several amazing games that have been built with Unity, and we'll get a chance to talk about a lot of that stuff. So hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk soon.